American Horror Story recap time. Okay, so this episode is called Neighbors from Hell. Pretty's on to Allie and Pedro. Allie killed Pedro in the end of the last episode. It didn't start out showing with what happened with the aftermath of that in this episode the way that I was kind of hoping it would be, but we'll get back to the beginning of this episode a little bit later. Um, yeah, but anyway, I want to get to the main point, which is the strife between Harrison and Meadow and Allie. So, Harrison and Meadow weren't happy that Allie shot Pedro. They kept calling her a racist. They showed up to her house with sombreros on, and they gave her Taco Bell coupons. And Billy Eichner's character said, I just went to 23andMe and I'm 10% Mexican, so I'm offended by this. And it was very satirical, very much something that does happen in real life, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, it was bad. So, and Allie felt more sorry that people were thinking that she was a racist rather than feeling sorry for Pedro's family and, the fact that Pedro is no longer with us. I took it as Allie is a big hypocrite and that she was, that's just how she is. She definitely puts herself first and her needs and like her phobias and stuff, but she likes to think of herself as helping the general public when really she's not. So yeah, she's not like a very sympathetic character, even though she kind of is our protagonist for this season. It's just another one of those seasons where you don't really like the protagonist or who appears to be the protagonist, because last year it was kind of like a surprise, but yeah, and Allie has been targeted for, several weeks, as we've seen in the other episodes that, well, we don't know if it's several weeks or not. She's been targeted for the last couple episodes. I'll keep it at that. But yeah, then she's automatically blaming Harrison and Meadow for the targeting when I don't really think it's them. I think it is the cult, and obviously we see that Harrison and Meadow are involved in that. And but yeah, I don't think that they put the smiley face on their house. I don't really think that they have anything to do with that. And I don't think that they gave Ozzy the guinea pig just to kill the guinea pig later. So let's get into the guinea pig part, because they wanted to show Ozzy that he can still be friends with them even though they are no longer friends with his moms. So they give Ozzy a guinea pig named Mr. Guinea. Mr. Guinea, a guinea isn't a nice term. I don't know what it means, but you shouldn't name your guinea pig Mr. Guinea. And it's just funny that that's what Harrison and Meadow named the guinea pig. But then the other funny thing about the name is that Allie, when she comes into the house and sees Harrison, or not Harrison, oh my goodness, I'm getting these names all mixed up today. Ozzy, when she sees Ozzy with the guinea pig, she says, we're not allowed to have pets here. We're all allergic to dander." And it sounded like she was making it like an environmental issue that they were all that like everybody's allergic to pet dander and it's bad to have pets because of that. And then she said, then the kid said, "Oh, can we keep him? He has a name. It's Mr. Guinea." And then she says, "You know how we feel about cis-normative pet names." And then Winter just says, like, "Why do you have a rule about pet names if you can never have pets?" So it's really funny that, Ozzy and Ivy and Allie, oh my goodness, these names. Like, could they have picked an easier name for somebody like me who can barely talk through a video? Um, Ozzy, Allie, Ivy all went to dinner, and they come home and they find Mr. Guinea in the microwave. And yeah, then Allie goes right across the street. She storms at Harrison and Meadow and says, "It's their fault. It's their fault. Why did they do this? Blah, blah, blah." And yeah, she doesn't even like consider the possibility that it could be somebody else. She just goes right for them. And Harrison and Meadow are in the cult. We find that out in this episode. I think because Harrison was starting to date the cop, um, they were hanging out a lot, that the cop just got them into, he's like, oh, let's look at this new fad. And then it's just the cult. And like that's maybe that's just me stereotyping it, but I just think it's because like he was with Harrison, and Harrison and Meadow are very into pop culture, that they would just want to do something that was the latest fad. So I think it's in their character that like that's probably what happened. And when Meadow's being questioned by Kai, when she goes pinky to pinky, um, he asks what she's most afraid of, and she goes really serious. She says, honestly, I'm afraid that so and so from the Real Housewives of New York is an alcoholic, or that she has a drinking problem. And then it was really fun. Like, mad props to that actress. Leslie Grossman is her name. And she really killed it in that scene. But then, like, Evan Peters comes back to, like, what the whole series is really about, and he slaps her right in the face. This American Horror Story podcast, they said that they felt, like, icky when they were watching it. And that's a good thing, because, like, I think that was Kai, like, deciding right then that that he had no use for Meadow, and that he was going to kill her. So in that like small like slap, um, we can kind of see how much mind control Kai is really doing, because he can't control Meadow's mind because she doesn't have one. No, just because like I think she's very vapid, and she doesn't. I want to say that she's too smart for Kai's mind control, but we know she's not. We know that she's just like this blank character that just doesn't care what Kai's gonna do, and she won't his mind control, which he does use on Harrison. He makes Harrison say that he wants to, because Kai has the mind control thing. That's what cult leaders do, and that's what he did for that. And then at the end of the episode, it does show that it looks like Meadow is missing, at least, or dead. There's a lot of blood all over Harrison's house, and Allie just went over to yell at them for something, and then Harrison says like, oh, she died, it's your fault, you did it, blah blah blah. So he's accusing Allie now, and it looks very suspicious for Allie. So yeah. So anyway, now I want to talk a little bit about Ivy, because this American Horror Story had like some good theories about like Ivy being in the cult. When they were all at that nice dinner, she had mint green tea ice cream, and Allie was the only one that ate that, and it was the same color as the gas that was hurting Allie like a few minutes before that. So that was kind of interesting. And Allie did act totally different when they were at that dinner than she does like the rest of the entire series. She was very subdued, and it was very weird. Yeah, there's that. There was one line that Oz said after the guinea pig thing, and he said, I wish I could say my goodbyes to you. And the kid was like, it was kind of like adorable, and it was kind of like bad acting at the same time, and it was just kind of like hilarious. And the more I watch it, the more I think it's hilarious. I remember writing in my notebook like, Oz hates Allie. But then like at the dinner scene, like they get along, and then at the towards the end of the episode, we see that there was a video of Winter with Allie, and it was from the previous episode where Winter was giving Allie a bath, and she was cheating on Ivy, and Ivy gets very upset, and then she wants to take Oz away, and then Oz says, why do I have to leave her? So after all this, like, he doesn't think of Allie as his mom, he thinks of Ivy as his mom. It seems to have turned a little bit, and maybe that's what the cult wants. They have a different couple there at the therapist's office, and like she's telling him her fears of, she's afraid of coffins and being like trapped in a small space, and she has this recurring nightmare, and she says, thank you so much for curing me, Dr. Vincent. And then she goes home that night. She and her husband says, I'm gonna go get something for you, which in American Horror Story is code that they are about to die. That happened at Freak Show at the beginning, where Twisty kills the guy and then he kidnaps the girl and the couple at the beginning, which they referenced in this season also. So I thought that was it's like a horror trope, I guess, but that's American Horror Story playing off of that. Gets locked in a coffin by all these clowns, and then she gets locked in a coffin by all the clowns. And then like later in the episode, we see the therapist playing with like smiley face pins, and it looks like Watchmen almost. So yeah, that's very odd. And then like when we see the hazmat suit guys, when Allie takes off their mask, they have the smiley face printed on it. So this smiley face is like recurring. That's obviously like on the houses. They have the smiley faces on them, and everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, Winter wasn't in this episode that much, but when she was really good, and she was kind of like, she was dark and creepy, but also funny, which I love in this season of American Horror Story. Like she fits in perfectly with American Horror Story, I think, because she can do that, and it's just she's really good. Um, so yeah, that's it. I really liked this episode. I'm really looking forward to the episode tonight, and I will see you guys later.